The grand chamber of the Galactic Council gleamed under the light of 3 artificial suns. The massive room, built to house representatives from over 200 spacefaring civilizations, buzzed with tension. Today's vote wasn't just another diplomatic procedure, it was about Earth. Ambassador Tom Reed stood at the center platform, his gray suit perfectly pressed, his back straight despite the weight of representing all of humanity. He knew something was wrong the moment he saw the smirks on the faces of the bright ones, their glowing skin pulsing with barely contained satisfaction. "The motion to contain Earth's expansion has been brought forward," announced High Counselor Light, his luminescent form hovering above the main podium. "The humans have spread too far, too fast. They colonize without regard for proper protocols. They build without permissions. They advance without guidance." Reed gripped the edges of his podium. "Earth has followed every regulation set forth by this council. We've shared our medical advances, our art, our culture. We've traded fairly and—" Silence. The Deep Lord Vast's voice boomed through the chamber, his massive aquatic form floating in a gravity suspension field. "We've seen how humans wage war among themselves. Your species is too dangerous to allow unrestricted growth. The Star Weaver Prime, a being of pure energy contained within a crystalline structure, moved forward. We have evidence of humans developing technologies beyond their approved level. This cannot continue." Reed tried to speak again, but his microphone had been cut off. He watched helplessly as the votes began appearing on the massive holographic display above. Red lights, votes against Earth, flickered into existence one after another. In the observation gallery, General Mark Wells clenched his fists. He'd warned the government this would happen. The aliens had never seen humans as equals, just as clever pets that had somehow stumbled into space travel. The vote count reached its end. 178 against Earth, 22 in favor, 12 abstaining. High Counselor Light's voice carried artificial sympathy. "The motion passes. Earth's colonies will be contained. All expansion must cease immediately. Any attempt to establish new colonies will be met with appropriate measures." Reed stepped forward, his voice carrying even without the microphone. "This is a mistake. Humanity won't be caged." The laughter that followed made several human observers wince. The bright ones literally glowed with amusement, their light pulsing in patterns of derision. "You'll do as you're told," Deep Lord Vast rumbled, "or face the consequences." As Reed left the chamber, his communicator buzzed. The message made his blood run cold. "Enem Eorg Sui, Mars Colony Dark. Europa Station no response." They hadn't even waited for the vote to finish. In his private chamber, Reed activated his secure line to Earth. General Wells's hologram appeared immediately. "They hit our colonies," Reed said, his voice tight. "They planned this." Wells nodded grimly. Satellite feeds caught it all. 3 alien fleets. They didn't just blockade the colonies, they destroyed them. Thousands dead. The Sleeping Giants Protocol. Already activated. Hidden bases across the solar system are coming online. Admiral Stone reports the Saturn fleet is ready. Reed loosened his tie, his diplomatic mask finally dropping. "They think they've caught us unprepared. That we're just children playing with technology we don't understand." "Their mistake," Wells replied. "Should we implement Phase 1? Reed looked out his window at the massive council station, its crystalline spires reaching into space. For 10 years, he'd tried to prevent this moment. 10 years of bowing and scraping, of playing the peaceful diplomat. "Yes," he said finally. "They wanted to cage humanity. Let's show them why that's impossible." As Reed ended the transmission, alarms began blaring throughout the council station. The first reports of destroyed alien ships near Saturn started flooding in. Humanity's counterattack had begun. In his chamber, Reed allowed himself a small smile. The council thought they were dealing with an upstart species that needed to be contained. They were about to learn that humanity had been preparing for this betrayal for decades. The real war was just beginning. Admiral Jane Stone stood on the bridge of her flagship, hidden in the dark side of Saturn's largest moon, Titan. Around her ship, hundreds of stealth vessels waited in perfect silence. Their black hulls, covered in light-absorbing material, made them invisible to both eyes and sensors. "Status report," she commanded. "Enemy blockade has surrounded Earth's orbit." "Admiral," her second-in-command reported. "They think they've trapped us." Stone smiled. The aliens had no idea they were looking at empty space. Earth's real fleet had evacuated to hidden bases months ago, after their spies first reported the Council's plans. "Show me the colony attack footage," Stone ordered. The main screen lit up with images that made her jaw tighten. The alien fleet had shown no mercy to the Mars and Europa colonies. Buildings crumbled under their weapons. Habitation domes shattered, exposing thousands of innocent people to the vacuum of space. 3 main attackers confirmed, her tactical officer announced. The Bright One's lightships, the Deep Dweller's ocean spheres, and the Star Weaver's crystal vessels. Stone touched a small metal disc hanging from her neck. Inside was a picture of her daughter, who had been studying on Mars when the attack came. The aliens would pay for every human life they had taken. "Begin Operation Thunderstrike," she ordered. "Activate the FTL disruptors." Across the solar system, hidden human devices powered up. These machines, reverse-engineered from crashed alien ships over the past century, created a field that made faster-than-light travel impossible. The alien fleet was now trapped in the solar system with them. "Ma'am, the alien ships are detecting the FTL disruption," her communications officer reported. "They're trying to escape." "Not anymore," Stone said. "Launch all ships. Attack pattern Delta." From behind Saturn's rings, from under the ice of Enceladus, from the shadows of Jupiter's moons, the hidden human fleet emerged. Their ships, built in secret underground bases on Earth and its moons, represented 30 years of preparation for this exact moment. The alien fleet panicked. They had expected to find a helpless civilization. Instead, they faced hundreds of warships appearing from impossible hiding places. "Enemy ships attempting to regroup," Tactical reported. "Their weapons are charging." "Target their command ships first," Stone ordered. "Show them what humanity's forbidden technology can do." The human fleet struck like lightning. Their ships, smaller but far more maneuverable, darted between the larger alien vessels. Weapons that the Council thought impossible for humans to possess cut through advanced alien shields like paper. On the Council station, alarms blared as reports flooded in. The Bright One's flagship exploded in a burst of light. 3 Deep Dweller vessels crashed into each other trying to escape. The Star Weaver's crystal ships shattered under human weapons. "Admiral," her second-in-command called out, "we're receiving a transmission from Earth. General Wells reports that the ground-based defense grid is fully operational. They're ready to launch the counterattack." Stone nodded. "Send the signal. Tell Earth it's time for Phase 2. Across Earth, hidden missile silos opened. Defense platforms that had been disguised as satellites revealed their true nature. The planet that the aliens thought defenseless bristled with weapons. "Enemy fleet attempting to retreat to the outer system," Tactical reported. "Not today," Stone said. "Activate the gravity nets." Hidden devices around the solar system activated, creating zones of intense gravitational distortion. Alien ships found themselves trapped, unable to maneuver, easy targets for the human fleet. In just 2 hours, half the alien blockade had been destroyed. The rest were scattered, running blind without their FTL drives, being hunted down one by one. Stone opened a channel to all human ships. "This is Admiral Stone. Phase 1 is complete. The enemy fleet is in chaos. But remember, this is just the beginning. They attacked our colonies, murdered our people, and thought we would just accept it. Today, we show them how wrong they were. Today, we begin our revenge." As she finished speaking, new reports arrived from Earth. The ground-based weapons had launched, targeting the few remaining alien ships. The night sky above Earth lit up with explosions, a deadly light show that proved one simple truth. Humanity had been ready for war all along. The Galactic Council's primary shipyards floated in space like a massive metal spider web. Stretching across thousands of kilometers, it had built warships for the major alien races for over 3 centuries. Now, it was about to receive unexpected visitors. Stealth systems at maximum. Admiral Stone commanded from her flagship's bridge. Her fleet had crossed half the galaxy using captured alien technology, improved by human engineers. Status of the shipyard's defenses. They're completely unaware, Admiral, her tactical officer replied. Their sensors show nothing but empty space. Stone allowed herself a grim smile. After the successful defense of Earth, humanity was taking the fight to the enemy. The shipyards were their first major target. All ships, prepare for synchronized attack, she ordered. Remember your training. Hit fast, hit hard, and show no mercy. The human fleet had positioned itself in a perfect attack formation. 100 ships, all painted with light-absorbing black material, surrounded the massive shipyard complex. They had been waiting for 3 hours, making sure their approach hadn't been detected. Message from Earth Command, Admiral. Communications announced. Ambassador Reed has entered the council chamber. The distraction is ready. Stone nodded. Begin the countdown. All ships, arm primary weapons. Miles away, inside the council chamber, Ambassador Reed stood before the alien leaders again. But this time, he wasn't playing the role of a humble diplomat. You attacked our colonies. Reed's voice boomed through the chamber. You murdered thousands of innocent people. You thought we would break. Instead, you only made us angry. The Bright One's leader glowed with rage. Your fleet's victory was luck. Nothing more. Our shipyards are building hundreds of new warships. We will crush your pathetic species. Reed checked his watch and smiled. I don't think so. At that exact moment, Admiral Stone gave the order. All ships, open fire. The human fleet revealed itself, dropping their stealth fields. The shipyard's defenders had no time to react. Human weapons, enhanced with reversed-engineered alien technology, tore through the outer defenses like they were made of paper. First defensive line breached, Tactical reported. Moving to Phase 2. Stone watched as her fleet executed the attack plan perfectly. Small, fast human ships darted between the massive alien defense platforms, destroying them with precise shots. The aliens had built their defenses to stop large attacks. They never expected an enemy to get this close. Enemy ships launching from the shipyard, Tactical announced. Spring the trap, Stone ordered. From their hiding places behind nearby asteroids, a second group of human ships appeared. They activated their gravity weapons, creating zones where alien ships couldn't maneuver. Caught between the gravity fields and Stone's main fleet, the enemy ships were easy targets. Inside the shipyard, chaos erupted. Incomplete warships were destroyed in their docks. Construction bays exploded. The massive rings that built the largest alien vessels broke apart under human bombardment. Admiral, her second-in-command, called out, "The Star Weavers are trying to call for reinforcements." "Activate the FTL disruptors," Stone commanded. "No one leaves until we're done." The aliens watched in horror as their primary shipyard, the pride of their military might, burned. Centuries of work destroyed in less than an hour by the species they had dismissed as primitive. In the council chamber, Reed continued his speech. "You thought humans were weak because we tried to be peaceful. You mistook diplomacy for fear. That was your first mistake." He pointed to a screen showing the burning shipyard. "That was your second mistake. This is impossible." Deep Lord Vast roared. "How did you even reach the shipyard without detection?" "We've been studying you for decades," Reed replied calmly. "Every crashed ship, every piece of alien technology we found, we learned from it all. We improved it. While you laughed at our primitive technology, we were preparing for this day." Admiral Stone watched as the last sections of the shipyard collapsed. Target destroyed. All ships report in. One by one, her fleet commanders confirmed their status. They had lost only 3 ships. In exchange, they had destroyed the Council's ability to build warships for years to come. Message from Earth Command. Communications reported. Phase 3 is approved. Stone smiled. The Council had thought destroying Earth's colonies would be the end of it. Instead, it was just the beginning of humanity's revenge. Set course for the next target, she ordered. The real war has just begun. The Council's emergency session looked nothing like its usual orderly meetings. After news of the shipyard's destruction spread, panic had taken hold. The massive chamber, once a symbol of galactic unity, had become a battlefield of accusations and fear. Ambassador Reed sat quietly, watching the chaos unfold. Where once he had stood alone, now representatives from 30 smaller council races had moved their seats closer to Earth's section. They could see which way the wind was blowing. The humans must have had help. High Counselor Like's glow pulsed with anger. Who among you betrayed us? Who gave them our technology? The Deep Lord Vast's massive form rippled with rage. Your light ships were supposed to protect the shipyard. Where were they when the humans attacked? Our ships were defending our own worlds. Light shot back. After we lost contact with our outer colonies, we had no choice. Reed raised an eyebrow at this new information. Earth's intelligence agencies had suspected that their attacks on alien worlds had been successful, but now they had confirmation. The Star Weaver Prime's crystalline form vibrated with distress. We must unite against the human threat. If we fight among ourselves. Unite. A smaller council member interrupted. Like you united to attack Earth's colonies. How did that work out for you? Reed stood up, and the chamber fell silent. Every eye, tentacle, and sensory organ turned to watch him. They had learned to fear when humans spoke. Interesting, he said calmly. You claim we stole your technology. That we needed help to defeat you. He pressed a button on his podium, and holographic images appeared around the chamber. Let me show you something. The images showed scenes from Earth's past, the Wright brothers' first flight, the moon landing, nuclear submarines, space stations. Then came the pictures that made the alien shift uncomfortably, crashed alien ships being studied by humans, reverse-engineered technology being tested, new weapons being developed. We didn't steal anything, Reed continued. We learned. We adapted. Every ship you crashed on our planet, every piece of technology you thought we were too primitive to understand, we studied them all, and we made them better. Impossible. Light flared brightly. Your species is too young. Young. Reed laughed. While you spent centuries looking down on us, we were preparing. Every time you tried to sabotage our development, we grew stronger. Every challenge made us more determined. A small council member, representing a race of peaceful traders, raised a hand. Earth offers protection, yes, for those who stand with humanity. Before Reed could answer, Admiral Stone's image appeared on the main screen. Behind her, explosions lit up space as human ships destroyed another alien military installation. Another supply base destroyed, she reported. The Deep Dwellers' main fleet is cut off from their fuel sources. They'll be stranded within days. The chamber erupted again, but this time with different energy. Smaller races began formally requesting alliances with Earth. Others quickly distanced themselves from the 3 major powers that had led the attack on humanity. This is outrageous, Deep Lord Vast boomed. We cannot let these primitives. Watch your words carefully, Reed interrupted. Your forces are trapped in their own systems by our FTL disruptors. Your shipyards are destroyed. Your supply lines are cut. He smiled. Would you like to see what else humanity has prepared? The chamber fell silent again. The 3 major powers, who had so confidently voted to contain Earth just weeks ago, now faced a terrible reality. They weren't fighting a primitive species. They were fighting an enemy that had spent decades preparing for this exact moment. Earth will accept surrender terms, Reed announced. You have 6 hours to decide. After that, he let the threat hang in the air. As he walked out of the chamber, Reed received a message from General Wells. Project Prometheus is ready. Shall we show them our real strength? Reed smiled. The Council thought they had seen the full extent of humanity's power. They had no idea what was coming next. The political game was ending. The real demonstration of human power was about to begin. General Wells stood in the secret control room deep inside Mercury. Through reinforced windows, he watched massive machines drawing power directly from the planet's molten core. The heart of Project Prometheus, humanity's greatest secret weapon, pulsed with energy. Power levels at 85% and rising. His chief engineer reported. The artificial wormhole generator is ready for its first major test. For 30 years, humans had hollowed out parts of Mercury, building a station inside the planet itself. The intense heat and radiation had provided perfect cover. No alien sensors could detect what was happening beneath the surface. Message from Ambassador Reed, sir, his communications officer called out. The Council rejected our surrender terms. The Deep Dwellers are launching a counterattack. Wells smiled. Perfect. Admiral Stone is in position. Yes, sir. Her fleet is ready to spring the trap. The general pressed a button, opening a channel to all Earth forces. Begin Operation Prometheus. Show them what humanity has been hiding under Mercury. Deep inside the planet, enormous machines roared to life. Energy collected from Mercury's core-powered technology that even the most advanced Council races thought impossible. A massive beam of energy shot from Mercury's surface into space. In the Council chamber, alarms blared as sensors detected the energy spike. The alien leaders watched in horror as a massive wormhole opened near their main fleet. Impossible, the Deep Lord Vast bellowed. They cannot have this technology. Ambassador Reed stood calmly at his podium. The wormhole generator. Another little project we've been working on. Would you like to see what it does? Before anyone could respond, the artificial wormhole began to pull on the Deep Dwellers' fleet. Their massive ships, caught in the gravitational field, couldn't escape. Full power, Wells commanded from Mercury. The wormhole expanded, its swirling vortex growing larger. One by one, the Deep Dwellers' ships were dragged in. Their weapons fired uselessly into space. Their engines burned at full power, but couldn't break free. Sir, the chief engineer reported, we can maintain the wormhole for another 3 minutes. More than enough time, Wells replied. In space, Admiral Stone's fleet moved into position. They had been waiting in stealth mode, watching as the trap was sprung. Target the exit point, she ordered. Don't let a single ship escape. The wormhole's exit point opened in a distant part of space, far from any habitable systems. As the Deep Dwellers' ships emerged, disoriented and scattered, Stone's fleet struck. The aliens had no chance to regroup or defend themselves. In less than 10 minutes, the Deep Dwellers' main fleet, over 300 ships, was completely destroyed. Project Prometheus successful, Wells announced to Earth's leadership. The Deep Dwellers' military power has been broken. In the Council chamber, silence fell as the reports came in. The Deep Lord Vast, one of the 3 most powerful leaders in the galaxy, slumped in his gravity field. This is what happens when you underestimate humanity. Reed addressed the chamber. We didn't just prepare for war. We prepared to win it completely. Would anyone else like to see what other surprises we've hidden in our solar system? The Star Weaver Prime's crystalline form dimmed in fear. How did you build such a weapon? The same way we built everything else, Reed replied. With patience, determination, and the knowledge that someday we would need to defend ourselves. You gave us a century to prepare while you looked down on us. We used that time well. General Wells watched the Council's reaction through a live feed. Project Prometheus had exceeded all expectations. Not only had it destroyed one of the largest alien fleets in the galaxy, but it had also demonstrated humanity's true technological power. Sir, his engineer called out, Mercury core power levels are stable. We can generate another wormhole in 6 hours. Good, Wells replied. Send word to Admiral Stone. Tell her to prepare for Phase 6. He looked at the holographic map showing countless alien worlds. The deep dwellers are finished. Now it's time to show the bright ones our next surprise. The aliens had thought humans were trapped in their solar system. Instead, they had turned their entire solar system into a weapon. And they were just getting started. The bright ones launched their attack at dawn, Earth time. Their light ships, beautiful and deadly, filled Earth's sky like 1,000 new suns. High Counselor Light had committed every ship his species possessed to this final, desperate assault. So they've chosen death, Admiral Stone said from her command center in the asteroid belt. Status of the defense grid. Ready, Admiral. All stations report green. For decades, humans had hidden weapons platforms throughout the asteroid belt. Now, as the bright ones approached, thousands of asteroids began to move, revealing their true nature. Let them get closer, Stone ordered. Let them think they've surprised us. The lightships moved forward in perfect formation. Their energy weapons began charging, preparing to glass Earth's surface. High Counselor Light, watching from his flagship, allowed himself to feel hope. Perhaps they could still win this war. He was wrong. They've crossed the marker, Stone's tactical officer reported. All platforms in range. Stone pressed a button on her command chair. This is Admiral Stone to all Earth forces. Execute Operation Eclipse. Across the asteroid belt, hidden platforms revealed massive mirror arrays, each one perfectly positioned, each one waiting for this moment. As the lightships charged their weapons, the mirrors moved into position. What are they doing? High Counselor Light demanded, watching the mirrors deploy. Their reflectors cannot hurt our ships. He understood too late. Mirrors aligned. Stone's weapons officer reported, ready to fire. Send the signal, Stone commanded. Let's show them why you don't bring light weapons to fight humans. Every light ship in the Bright One's fleet fired at once, just as planned. But instead of hitting Earth, their energy beams struck the mirror arrays. The mirrors, built using technology reverse-engineered from the Bright One's own ships, didn't just reflect the light. They amplified it. The combined and amplified energy beams shot back at the alien fleet. Light ships, designed to channel energy outward, had no defense against their own weapons turned back on them. Hundreds of ships exploded in brilliant flashes, like stars going supernova. Impossible. High Counselor Light screamed as his fleet died. How did they know? In the council chamber, Ambassador Reed answered the unheard question. We studied every piece of your technology we could find. Every weakness, every flaw. Did you think we wouldn't find a way to turn your greatest weapon against you? The Star Weaver Prime, watching the destruction of their last remaining ally, made a decision. We wish to discuss surrender terms. Their crystalline form vibrated with fear. Too late, Reed replied. You had your chance for peace. Above Earth, the battle wasn't over. The remaining lightships, desperate and broken, tried to flee. But humanity had one final surprise waiting. Launch the dark matter bombs, Stone ordered. From Earth's moon, missiles streaked into space. They carried weapons developed in secret underground labs, using principles that the Council races thought impossible for humans to understand. The bombs detonated, creating zones of absolute darkness. The lightships, which needed light to power their systems, found themselves trapped in perfect darkness. One by one, they went dark, powerless, and helpless in space. High Counselor Light watched from his flagship as his fleet died or surrendered. In just 1 hour, his species had lost its entire military force. Centuries of being one of the most powerful races in the galaxy ended by the very species they had tried to contain. Admiral, Stone's tactical officer reported, the Bright One's flagship is sending a surrender signal. Stone nodded. Accept their surrender. Prepare boarding parties. She opened a channel to Earth Command. General Wells, the space battle is over. You may begin the ground operation. Across Earth, hidden bunkers opened. Ground forces, equipped with weapons and armor that put alien technology to shame, prepared to launch. The Council had tried to cage humanity on their home planet. Now, humanity would show them why that had been their greatest mistake. Send word to all human forces, Stone commanded. Phase 7 begins now. It's time to take the Council's central station. The final battle for control of the galaxy was about to begin. The Council's central station hung in space like a crown of thorns, its crystalline spires no longer gleaming with their usual pride. Inside the Grand Chamber, representatives from every spacefaring race watched as human forces took control of the station's command center. Ambassador Reed walked to the central podium, the same spot where just weeks ago he had stood humiliated as the Council voted to contain Earth. Now he looked down at the alien leaders who had once mocked humanity. The terms of surrender are simple, Reed announced, his voice carrying across the silent chamber. All Council races will pay reparations for the destroyed colonies. Every human life lost will be accounted for. The Deep Lord Vast, his massive form now diminished, spoke up. And if we refuse? Admiral Stone's hologram appeared beside Reed. Behind her, the combined human fleet surrounded the station. Then we demonstrate Project Prometheus one last time, perhaps targeting your homeworlds this time. The threat hung in the air. Everyone had seen what the Mercury-based weapon could do to entire fleets. Nobody doubted humanity's willingness to use it again. We accept the terms. The Star Weaver Prime's crystalline form dimmed in submission. The Council recognizes Earth's supremacy. General Wells, standing at the chamber's entrance with his honor guard, allowed himself a small smile. The aliens still didn't understand. This wasn't about supremacy. It was about justice. There will be changes, Reed continued. The Galactic Council is dissolved, effective immediately. In its place, we establish the Galactic Assembly. All races, regardless of their technological level, will have equal representation. Impossible. High Counselor likes glow pulsed weakly. The younger races cannot. Cannot what? Reed interrupted. Cannot be trusted. Like you couldn't be trusted. Humanity was younger than most races here, yet we defeated your combined forces in weeks. He pressed a button on the podium, and holographic images appeared around the chamber. They showed the human colonies that had been destroyed, the thousands of innocent lives lost. We remember every life you took. Reed's voice grew cold. Every man, woman, and child who died because of your arrogance. The reparations will reflect that. Admiral Stone's fleet commanders reported in one by one, confirming control of key strategic positions across the galaxy. Human forces now held every major shipyard, every crucial supply line, every strategic checkpoint. The first payment will fund the rebuilding of Mars and Europa colonies, Reed announced. The second will establish a combined defense fleet under human command to maintain peace. The smaller Council races, who had suffered under the dominance of the three major powers, showed clear relief. Many had already signed treaties with Earth, seeing humanity as a protector rather than a conqueror. Admiral Stone will lead the new defense fleet, Reed continued. General Wells will oversee the deployment of FTL disruptor networks to prevent any future surprise attacks. And Earth, he smiled, Earth will ensure that no race ever again attempts what you did. From Mercury, the engineers of Project Prometheus reported that the weapon was fully charged, ready to create another wormhole if needed. But Reed knew they wouldn't need it. The aliens had learned their lesson. One last thing, Reed added. We've discovered evidence of other young civilizations that you've been suppressing. That ends today. Earth will oversee their development, ensure they have the chance we never had. The chamber erupted in murmurs. The major powers had hidden their manipulation of younger races for centuries. Yet somehow, humans had uncovered their secret. How? The Deep Lord Vast asked. How did you prepare so well? How did you know? Reed walked down from the podium, stopping in front of the alien leaders. Because we remembered our history. How often stronger powers tried to dominate the weaker. We knew that one day we would face the same in space. So we prepared. For decades we prepared. He looked around the chamber, at the representatives of hundreds of alien races. The age of the Council is over. The age of humanity has begun. But unlike you, we will rule with justice, not fear. As Reed finished speaking, Earth's new flag was raised in the chamber. Humanity had not just survived the Council's attack, they had turned it into an opportunity to reshape the galaxy. The revenge was complete. The future had begun.